Liverpool fans, big updates incoming. Virgil van Dijk opens up on Wataru Endo's injury. Alexis Mac Allister hits a Man Utd roadblock. And Trent Alexander-Arnold edges closer to a return. Plus, Szoboszlai and PSG twist you don't want to miss. Gutted Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk gives Wataru Endo update. I had a similar injury. Virgil van Dijk says the entire Liverpool squad are gutted for Wataru Endo as the midfielder faces up a lengthy spell on the sidelines. Virgil van Dijk says the entire Liverpool squad are gutted for Wataru Endo as the midfielder faces up to what is feared will be a lengthy spell on the sidelines. Endo, who was making his just first Premier League start of the season, suffered a lower foot injury in last week's 1-0 win at Sunderland when clearing a dangerous cross in the second half. After initially trying to play on, the Japan captain was eventually forced off with the help of a stretcher, and head coach Arne Slot has so far been unable to offer any real insight into the nature of the issue when asked during press conferences. Slot did at least indicate that there was a chance Endo could return before the end of the campaign on Saturday, but was coy when asked if the Samurai Blue skipper had broken his ankle. Reds captain Van Dijk says he and his teammates are hugely disappointed at seeing the popular Endo on the shelf for the foreseeable. It's a shame, we were all really gutted after the game, Van Dijk said. I had a similar injury when I was at Southampton, a foot injury, and it's not an easy one to take. But we are here for him. We are going to be together with him all the way and support him with everything he needs. It's not great. He is such an important and respected member of the team. He's one of the leaders, and he always leads by example as well. On the pitch, he gives everything, and you saw that in the game. It's a big blow, but we have to deal with it, and we will. Hopefully it's not going to take too long, but it looks like it will be a while. Speaking in his post-match press conference after Saturday's 3-0 FA Cup win over Brighton, Liverpool boss Slot said, "There is definitely a chance, but he will be out for a while. We cannot say exactly how long yet. It's different with every injury. Sometimes you can make the diagnosis straight away. Sometimes you need a few more days to see how it develops, and that last thing is true for Wata. But he will not be in the squad next week, and he will not be in the squad next month. But we are hoping at the end of the season he has a chance to be with us again. But that also depends on the upcoming days. Is it broken? We don't know yet. That's the first lie I've made since I've been over here." Man Utd's 109.5 million transfer spending blocks Alexis Mac Allister from Dream Shirt numbers. Manchester United are weighing up interest in Liverpool midfielder Alexis Mac Allister, but have already been presented an obstacle to the move. Alexis Mac Allister's hopes of securing his ideal shirt number at Manchester United appear doomed from the outset. United are understood to be considering a move for the Liverpool star in what could be the first direct deal between the two clubs since 1964. Yet the potential switch already faces one significant hurdle, as Mac Allister's favored squad number remains unavailable. This is because Matthias Cunha currently wears the number 10 at Old Trafford and seems unlikely to relinquish it in the near future. Mac Allister has exclusively donned the number 10 since arriving in the Premier League in 2019. He spent 4 seasons excelling for Brighton, while sporting the legendary number before adopting the same shirt at Anfield. Cunha, for his part, has delivered impressive performances in Manchester since being handed his own number 10 for United, following his 62.5 move from Premier League rivals Wolverhampton Wanderers last summer. And the Brazilian may prove reluctant to jeopardize his current form by surrendering the digit to a prospective summer arrival. It's believed United detect a possible opportunity in the market for Mac Allister following a challenging season for Liverpool. The World Cup winner is far from the only player at Anfield who has failed to discover consistently this campaign, although his circumstances are marginally more delicate than others. The South American has a contract until the summer of 2028. And at 27 years of age, Liverpool might be reluctant about granting Mac Allister another long-term deal, suggesting an approach from United could bear fruit from a practical perspective. Dominik Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch's present deals are also scheduled to conclude in 2028. Nevertheless, Szoboszlai, 25, and Gravenberch, 23, each have more long-term potential than their midfield partner and operate in more specialized roles, suggesting they might be prioritized in contract discussions. There's also Florian Wirtz, who already ranks among the top earners in Arne Slot's squad following his arrival last summer. Yet, even if Mac Allister became available this summer, there's no certainty Liverpool would entertain negotiations with United of all clubs. While the number 10 might be unavailable at United, an opportunity could emerge concerning one of Mac Allister's alternative favored shirt numbers. He previously sported the number 8 during his brief stint with Boca Juniors. That designation currently belongs to none other than United captain Bruno Fernandes at present. Signed for 47 million from Sporting. In 2020, there is uncertainty around how much longer the club's skipper will stay at Old Trafford. Saudi clubs remain linked with a summer transfer for Fernandes. Should he depart United later this year, the prospect of inheriting the number 8 shirt could serve as an additional incentive for the prospective midfield signing. However, should he remain at the club, it would prevent Mac Allister from being able to use either of his 2 preferred shirt numbers. Mac Allister might represent the next component in United reclaiming their previous standing among Europe's elite. Nevertheless, a minor compromise from the player could be necessary if he's to complete a rare direct move between the 2 Premier League powerhouses. Liverpool told Dominik Szoboszlai's private feelings after agent's Real Madrid update. Dominik Szoboszlai's agent has confirmed the Liverpool midfielder is not looking elsewhere, despite Real Madrid transfer speculation, with Louis Saha now chipping in with his verdict. Dominik Szoboszlai could prove the perfect fit for Real Madrid, and Liverpool should be wary about the transfer speculation surrounding the midfielder, according to ex-Manchester United and Everton striker Louis Saha. Szoboszlai's future has become the focus of rumors over the past week after Hungary boss Marco Rossi revealed to Madrid-based sports publication Marca that the Liverpool star harbors a dream to represent Real Madrid. This followed Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. confirming on YouTube that he maintains regular communication with Szoboszlai, having formed a friendship with the ex-RB Leipzig player earlier in his career. Los Blancos are anticipated to enter the market for a new long-term midfielder this summer, following the departures of Luka Modric last summer and Toni Kroos in 2024. And Szoboszlai has surfaced as a potential target, alongside Paris Saint-Germain's Vitinha and AZ Alkmaar's Quaz Smith, amongst others being mentioned. Whilst Real's pursuit of Szoboszlai remains purely speculative at this point, Saha reckons the Reds ought to be worried that Los Blancos are considering a swoop for him. Dominik Szoboszlai is a top player, very strong mentally, and covers everywhere on the field, Saha told Casino Hawks. He can defend, attack, score goals, and score free kicks. He is definitely the top man at the moment. When you're playing this well, especially at a club like Liverpool at the moment, who don't look like competing for the title, you have to be wary of a team like Real Madrid looking at your players. They are still looking at long-term replacements for Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, and Szoboszlai looks to be a good fit if he goes in with Jude Bellingham and Fede Valverde and their other options. I imagine they are looking for a player with this kind of capacity to create and disrupt. It does make sense, and he could be the perfect fit there. But at the same time, because of what happened with Trent, maybe the Liverpool board won't be happy to lose a player to the same club. Szoboszlai still has over 2 years remaining on his existing Anfield contract, but the club are eager to reward him for his development, having become a key figure this campaign. After the 4-1 victory over Newcastle United earlier this month, Szoboszlai subsequently confirmed discussions regarding a fresh deal are underway, and he voiced his ambition to stay on Merseyside long-term. His representative, Matthias Esterhazy, has now addressed Szoboszlai's future and confirmed that the Hungary skipper is not looking elsewhere and is determined to stay at the Reds despite attention from Real Madrid. It's completely normal for the public when Dominik is performing like this to talk about what's next and if there's something higher, he commented, speaking to Hungarian news outlet NB1. For us, it's not a topic. We are mid-season. He has a lot of work ahead of him in the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. He has said many times how important this competition is for him. So at the moment to talk about what will happen in the summer, in my opinion, is not correct. Not to mention, Liverpool are one of the biggest clubs in the world, and Dominik is in a position within the team that has a lot of reserve, so we are not looking outside or elsewhere. Szoboszlai, who has frequently been deployed at right back as well as in midfield this term, has netted 10 goals and supplied 7 assists in 35 appearances for the Reds in 2025-26. Without question, he's currently a strong contender for the club's Player of the Season award. Trent Alexander-Arnold moves step closer to Liverpool return. After Champions League drama, Trent Alexander-Arnold could be heading back to Anfield later this year, following recent developments at Real Madrid. Trent Alexander-Arnold edged closer to a possible Liverpool comeback following a contentious evening in the Champions League. The Reds have already secured their place in the last 16, allowing Arne Slot's squad to observe this month's playoffs before continuing their pursuit of a 7th European title in March. The opening round of playoff fixtures commenced on Tuesday. Liverpool edged nearer to discovering their last 16 opposition after Galatasaray thrashed Juventus 5-2, and the landscape heading deeper into the competition has become somewhat clearer. Real Madrid staged a rematch of their dramatic final league phase defeat to Benfica. This time, though, the Spanish heavyweights prevailed over their Portuguese rivals. The clash didn't come without controversy, however. Vinicius Jr. netted the sole goal of the encounter in Lisbon, guaranteeing Real will carry a 1-0 advantage back to the Bernabeu for next week's second leg. The match had to be suspended for approximately 10 minutes following the goal after Vinicius claimed he had been subjected to racist abuse, which Alexander-Arnold called a disgrace. Vinicius reported a remark directed at him by Benfica winger Gianluca Prestiani, prompting referee François Letexier to activate UEFA's anti-racism protocol. Chaos erupted as a backroom staff member was dismissed, while Jose Mourinho attempted to speak with a visibly incensed Vinicius before he was shown a red card. Prestiani had been spotted on camera covering his mouth with his shirt as he conversed with Vinicius before the report was made to the referee. The match did eventually restart, with Real maintaining its advantage as Mourinho was subsequently sent off. The outcome means Álvaro Arbeloa's side are now a step closer to securing a place in the last 16, and another potential return to Liverpool for Alexander-Arnold later in the competition. The two sides have already clashed this season, with the Reds recording a 1-0 victory at Anfield during the league phase, and they could meet again in the semi-finals should they both progress that far. Liverpool will discover which side of the draw they will be placed in on February 27th, when it will be paired with one of either Galatasaray or Juventus, or one of Club Brugge or Atletico Madrid. The former would put it on course for a potential meeting with Real and Alexander-Arnold. Elsewhere in the competition, Paris Saint-Germain came from 2-0 down to defeat fellow French side Monaco 3-2, with the defending European champions set to have home advantage in the second leg next week. PSG could be a potential quarter-final opponent for Liverpool in a possible replay of last season's last 16 showdown. Borussia Dortmund also secured victory, defeating Atalanta 2-0 in the first leg of their clash in Germany. And both of those teams are potential semi-final adversaries for the Reds. Jeremy Jacquet latest as PSG's reason for snubbing Liverpool star emerges. Jeremy Jacquet will join Liverpool in the summer after the Reds won the race for his signature. Although he could have signed for Paris Saint-Germain had things turned out differently, Liverpool will be getting one of the most sought-after young players in Europe when Jeremy Jacquet completes his move to Anfield in the summer. The Reds won the race to sign the Rennes defender on deadline day during the winter window, beating Chelsea to his signature after it seemed as though the Blues had been leading the chase for the 20-year-old. He will spend the rest of the season back in France, with the $82 million $60 million deal having been agreed on the proviso that he remained with Rennes for the time being, although a shoulder injury may have foiled those plans. Had things turned out differently, though, Jacquet could have already been plying his trade in the Champions League with the defending European champions, and he may have already inflicted some pain on Liverpool. As a 14-year-old, Jacquet attracted interest from Paris Saint-Germain, with the French giant having scouted him during his time with RC Joinville. Ultimately, though, PSG decided to turn their attention elsewhere. PSG hesitated between him and Sékou Doucouré, whose profile was more in line with the club's vision for the future, a former member of PSG's youth department told Le Parisien. Jacquet had talent, but he seemed less technically ready. Jacquet would instead join Rennes, which has turned out to be a blessing for Liverpool after getting the chance to sign him, as well as avoiding coming up against him in last season's Champions League defeat to PSG. There is one thing the Reds will likely pay close attention to, though, from Rennes' scouting of the defender as a teenager, and no doubt Arne Slot will be hoping it isn't a recurring problem. When I first saw him in Joinville, there weren't many clubs interested in him, former Rennes scout Khalid Garba revealed. I asked to see his father, Dominik, who ran the club's refreshment stand. He was the spitting image of his son, tall with long legs. He injured his shoulder before he even touched the ball. Jeremy was gutted, but we immediately reassured him by explaining that if he was there, it was because we believed in him. He came back for a training camp at the end of the season, this time at 100% fitness, and after developing further, that's when he won everyone over. That shoulder injury might prove to be a concern, with Jacquet having suffered a recurrence in Rennes' recent 3-1 defeat to Lens, which could see him miss much of the remainder of the campaign. His current boss Habib Bey described the issue as serious, meaning Slot and Liverpool may have to wait to find out the long-term repercussions of the injury. Thanks for watching.